This time, okay, this time everything should work because I see my microphone here. I see that my microphone is listening, okay, and you should see my video that I'm sharing to you. So everything should work fine. Okay, I loaded my location. This time is without the illumination. So I'm going to show you how to create an illumination to have it in game. I see that I'm seeing my own channel, and I see that I can hear my voice. So everything should work fine this time. And this time is very important because I will start, if everything will be all right at the end of the tutorial about the illumination, I will start the process, the long process that will take all of this geometry into a tier 4 file, tier 4 file, into that is into a playable level for Tomb Raider. Okay, let's start now. As my illumination actually is here. I have put those lights and this light. But I will show you how to create everything since the beginning. First of all, I do a selection filter, so I can select only the lights. Okay, so I select them all, pressing Ctrl A, and I delete them. So I am starting from a file without any kind of illumination. First of all, I go in the Create panel, in the lights tab, and I go into the standards type of light. I create a skylight, which is a special light that you can put in every position, in any position you wish. But the only thing you have to care of is that this light must be above the zero zeta. So I have it at 16, for example. This kind of light is very important because it creates the indirect light and the indirect light in all this geometry. It is the geometry that creates the lights that is created by the reflection of the rays of light among the geometry itself. So it does not depend on a light source, but it depends on the geometry itself. It is the indirect light. Okay, now I go in the photometric type of lights, and I choose only 3 lights. I decide to not create a photometric, to not create an environment, to not create a logarithmic exposure control. So I will have the correct illumination that is going to be imported in game, and I place, for example, here a light. I raise it a bit, okay, and I go in the modify panel, and I choose that it does not have to have the CD way of calculate the intensity, but the LM, and this is a value too high, so I'm going to use a very low value, which is, for example, 25. I then choose a filter color, that is the color that this light is going to emit. For example, a, a not color, and I can duplicate this light several times. For example, where I need it. There's no need to have it many times as instance. For example, here. Well, this is enough. I mean that you should not need other infos to know about the positioning of lights and their intensity and their use, because this light will do the most of the work, and this kind of light will give your environment the kind of light you want to have locally. For example, here I'm going to show you how this illumination will appear in game. For example, this way. I press the 9 key in the keyboard, and the render setup dialog window will open. To reset everything, I choose no lighting plugin. But you have to create the light, the illumination in your level. You have to choose radiosity, which is active. You have to go in the radiosity meshing parameters and check the include skylight box. So the radiosity will calculate the emission of the indirect light. I go back in the interactive tools, and I say that I want, for example, the indirect light multiplied for 10, and that I want to refine the iteration of all objects, for example, just once. The iterations are a way to say to the radiosity engine to calculate the indirect light, which is created by the geometry itself, but not only. It calculates some kind of the bounces the lights have among between two objects. This means that this object creates some indirect light on this one, and this one creates some indirect light on this one. So those objects interact on each other, and I decide to refine the interaction of all objects just once. If I press 2, for example, the process will be obviously more accurate, but it will be surely a lot slower, a lot slow. So I choose just once. I then decide to start the calculation of the radiosity, and it should take some moment, but not that much. Is shooting the direct lights. It will take some time, but it is necessary. It's processing radiosity. Okay. And it's done. So, as you can see, we have a different illumination. Here, those objects creates some kind of shadow. Um, this should be fine, but actually I don't like how it came out, because I forgot to refine a color for this light, because I don't want a completely white light. I want, for example, a very hot color, for example, this kind of color. Okay, and I want that it casts shadows. Okay, and now I reset all, and I say to start again this calculation, and it should give all the environment a more warm, a warmer mood. Is shooting the direct lights. It takes some time, but after you know what to do, it will save you a lot of work later. It's refining the solution. Okay, so it is a lot warmer now. As you can see, there are some parts that are completely dark because the skylight creating as it creates as it is casting shadows. Those parts are completely dark or so. So if I want them to be more illuminated, I just have to select a light and position, for example, here an instance of it. For example, I put it here. Okay, and I should have to reset all and update the solution. But as it is something that you can do by yourself, I'm going to show you the kind of illumination I already decided before starting this tutorial, which is this one. Okay, I press the 9 key. I start the rendering process, the radiosity calculation process, and you should see how my level is going to appear once I will have everything imported in game. It takes a lot of time because I have about 12 direct lights. Okay, it's almost finished. Okay, so my level is going to appear this way. But to have my level to appear this way, I have to do something. First of all, I want to be able to select everything, so all in the selective filter. Is this fine? Okay. Okay, so everything is fine. Oh, okay, now there are no my level is going to appear this way. I select all the geometry, Ctrl A, and I apply a vertex paint modifier. A vertex paint modifier is a very powerful tool that allows the level designer to paint the illumination directly, for example, this way. I select to have the vertex color, and so forth. I'm going to paint this way. As you can see, it is very slow. I'm painting everything as blue, which I really don't like. So I start everything again. I come back in the to only the vertex color display, only to the smooth illumination, and I decide to use this vertex paint to have the illumination I add with the radiosity. To do this, I have to select here lighting and diffuse. Here color by vertex. By default it is color by face, but I have to use color by vertex in the for Tomb Raider. And I want to use the radiosity, and I don't have to select mapping here. I come back in the radiosity window. I reset everything because after I apply a vertex paint modifier into the scene, the radiosity won't be any more valid. So I have to come back here and start again the radiosity calculation. So it will take 1 minute, and you have only to wait. You must be patient, but it serves a lot of work, because you won't have to paint in Metasequoia the illumination, and you don't have to create a very complex illumination into NGLE, into the Tomb Raider editor, because as you can see, everything will be really simple. So it is still processing radiosity. In a while, it will refining the solution. Okay, and now there is nothing more to do that click on assign, and the process of assigning this illumination to the geometry will start, and it will take 1 or 2 minutes. I'm using 3dsmax 2010 because this version of 3dsmax has the importer and exporter as MQO that includes even the vertex colors of the vertices, the geometry I built. It won't take too long. I'm checking my mail to know to see if there are problems. Okay, so the illumination is finished. The process that gives the attaches the illumination to the geometry is finished. So now I can simply export this geometry as MQU file, and I name it as 000 underscore 002 MQO. I'm going to open it. And this is how it will appear. I forgot that there are two items in the scene that I don't need. So this is how the geometry appears. As you can see, we have all the objects here, named here, and here we have the materials I used. They are all named this way, as I named in 3dsmax, except this one that I will tell you later what it is. It is an error, let's say. So I double click on one of them, I select all of them, I choose to have them as bling in vertex color. I want the alpha as 1, the diffuse as 0, the emission as 1, the specular as 0, the power as 5, and the ambient as 1. I then click OK, and I have the illumination I add inside 3dsmax. But I don't like this purple, because this doesn't let me understand if this illumination is fine or not. Thus purple is invisible once in game. And to have the perfect rendering of this geometry as I will have it in once in game, I go back in the material editor, and having a look here in this alpha channel, I will select all the materials, and when I have an alpha channel, like in this case, I will choose to have a Fong material. Once in game, I will have the illumination as bling, but this bling shader doesn't work fine with an alpha channel. To have it almost perfectly as it will appear in game, I decided to convert this material as Fong. But this won't affect the illumination I already have built in 3dsmax. So I choose Fong for this one, and I go on with all the other materials. Fong. There are not so many, so I can do it online. Fong. Okay. This is the texture of the tree, so the tree's leaves. Okay. Fong. Okay, there are not so many, so I should be finished in a while. Fong. Okay, those are the eaves. Fong. Fong shader is a bit darker than the Blin one. So once I change the Blin materials as Fong, the illumination of these polygons, of the polygons that use this material, will be a bit darker than how they will appear once in game. But this is to have a very good rendering here. So as you can see, the illumination is really fine and really impressive, because I have the illumination that I had in 3dsmax. I have it in HyperSquare, and with Meta 2TR I will have it in game. So for now this part is finished. You don't have to do nothing more now, at least for now. And I'm going to show you how to have how to start the process to have this geometry in a tier 4 level. As you can see, I used to position my objects in very special coordinates in relatively to the world, divided into grids. That is, this cylinder is positioned at the center of a sector. This cylinder again is positioned at the center of a sector, and everything I put in this level is positioned in a very special position, that is at the corner of a sector, or at the center of a sector, or at the boundaries of a sector, so that I will be able later to position fake collision objects to create the collision, so Lara won't compenetrate these polygons once she is in game. Let me see if the microphone is working. Okay, the microphone is working. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to create a set of fake objects, so that I will have the fake collision. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, but my cat wants to enter in this room. Wait for a while. Okay. Here I am again. Let me see if the microphone is working. Hello. Okay, it's working. Okay, so I'm going to create these fake objects using this grid as referential. But as this grid, I want a grid a lot much more precise. I'm going to have a grid spacing of 0.25 25, which is, as we know, one click in the Tomb Raider level editor, and I want every grid lines, every four lines. That is, I will have a major line every sector of the Tomb Raider level editor. Okay. So I'm going to create some parallelepiped. For example, I know that I will position some of my objects at the center of the sector. A sector is this one. Sector is this one. It is for subdivision of the grid, that is one sector for each side. My sector so is this one, and I want half of a sector to have the collision, so this one and this one. So this is a polygon, this is parallelepiped, a solid that will create collision in my game. I will tell you how and how. I will tell you how it will do this later. Then I want another collision kind, for example this one, which is one click wide and length, but one sector high. But I want even something like this, something like this, for example, and something like this. Okay, let me see if everything is fine. Okay, I want something 2 sector wide and 3 sector wide. 1, 2, okay. Then I want another one like this one, but a lot thinner. Okay, and again I want all of them replicated, not as instances but as copy. Okay, and I want them to have 2 sector in height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, let me see this project if I need something more. I think I need something like this. I think I need something like this. Okay, it is one click large, and 3 click wide. Okay, I want a copy of this. Okay, 2 sector high. Okay, and then I could need let me see, nothing more. If I need something else, I will do that. I will do this later. Okay, I'm going to rename all of these parallelepipeds as with the rename objects tool. I will rename them as extra with the name. Now I want them numbered. Rename. Let me see if the rename is fine. Okay, so I have 18 extra objects. Let me see if this name is fine. Integer OB. Yes, they are named as extra and a number of two letters. Okay, so they are fine. Okay, I can close this one. Okay, so those are my items. I position all of those in the zero coordinates. Okay, I save this file and I call it. I create a new folder. Statics. I want all of them to use just one material, the same material. For example, let me see. For example, this one with the purple. I rename it usually as the name of the bitmap file. I apply an UV map as face and unwrap, and I edit it, and I want to know how those objects will appear once they are in game, and I have to know I have to check this file, UV zones for objects. I want them to be completely invisible once in game. To have them completely invisible once in game, I have to use the magenta transparency. This means this row. with no shine. This means this column. So I come back here, and now this is the row and this is the column. So I want them to use this part of the UVW coordinates, and I want them to be completely purple. It is completely transparent. I convert them into meshes. Let me see. I want them to appear auto smooth this way. I apply them a vertex paint using a medium volume, paint them all. So let me see how they appear. It is all fine. So as they are using a vertex paint modifier, once I import them into a TR4 file, they will have obviously an illumination imported. This means that as they have an internal illumination, they are imported as statics and not are movable. This is all fine. I can save as with an incremental number, and I export them as collision statics. MQO. Okay. It is all fine now. I want to import them into a VAD. So I create a new folder, call it meta to tr collision statics. I copy into this one the meta to tr program. I copy this file collision statics into this file, into this folder, and I'm going to create a new VAD. For example, I go into the VAD merger folder, for example here, load VAD. I'm going to load a previous VAD or a normal VAD, for example city. Okay, statics, let me see. No, I want something easier. Let me see. Maybe this VAD is useful. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it is almost fine. Okay, because I'm going to have from 0 to 17. Okay, so 14, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, the name 15, the name 16, the name and 17. 17, okay, copy. And I can delete everything else because I don't need it. Delete. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I go into movable. It doesn't, I don't care now. And I save the VAD as collision statics 01. Okay. I open the Tomb Raider level editor. I load this VAD I just created. I load a TGA, something that doesn't matter now. I apply some of the texture randomly just to have a proper tier 4 file that I can load and it doesn't crash. I place Lara even if it is not necessary for this process, and I do an output VAD. Okay, I open the converter. I want the destination folder to be the collision statics. Okay, I load the collision statics VAD Tom. I build all. Maybe I will have some problems with sounds. With some missing sounds effects. It doesn't matter. I don't care about this. Okay. I go into the meta to tier collision statics folder and I have my TR4 file. What I need from this file is only the 18 statics that I have here, right? Okay, I convert this one. Let me see. Add, separate. Okay. Okay, so I want to see how those tiles appear. Okay, for example, this one. I open this one. I go into Photoshop. I paint this all purple and I save it. And I import it into Meta2TR. Where is it? Okay. Okay, my cat is crying. Let me see this file. This object is using only this file is using only one tile. Let me see if my microphone is working. Pardon. Okay, is working. This file is using only one tile, as you can see. I can rename this one as this one, and I can choose this one, this file, this file. Okay, okay. So they are all purple or invisible. They are using an internal light, so they are imported. They will be imported as statics. Okay. I save this file. Okay. And I import this file into Meta2TR. Okay, so all I have now is a new level .tier4 which has those statics as this one. I load this tier file into Bud Matcher. Oh my, overflow. Okay, it is using too many textures. It is using too many textures for Bud Merger. Okay, so now I have to do something less heavier. So I have to come back to Bud Merger. Let me see if loading a tier 4 no, loading a VAD from a VAD from one of the official. Okay, I have to rename them as stretch 0, copy, rename. I wanted to avoid all of this, but I cannot do it. Name. Oh, let me see one thing. Let me see one thing. Okay, I rename this as 3 or 2. 2. Okay, copy. Let me see one thing. Okay, if I, rather than using so many textures, I use just one. Let me see what happens. Let me see what happens here. Okay. Let me see if it accepts, and I change the sound effects folder into the correct one, which was this one. Okay. Let me see what happens. Build all. My cat is still crying. Okay. Here. Okay. Let me see if this file this file appears. Okay, it appears this way, but only because I have to delete this file and turn it. Oh, wait a minute. I want to know how many tiles this tier 4 file is using. So I export everything again. It's the same. So using less text, less styles doesn't help. I need to know. I need to create a VAD from the city VAD. Okay, rename 3. Copy name. This is really boring, and I wanted to avoid all of this, but this means I cannot. 4, 5. Name 6. Name 7. 7, 8. 9. 10. Name 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. And finally 17. Save VAD. Collision statics. Okay. I reconvert the town file. Okay, I delete all of this. I drag this file here. Okay, only 10 tiles. So I want the first one to be completely purple. Let me see if it works. Okay. Okay. They are named the correct way. Extra 17, exactly. And here I have extra 17. Okay. So I'm going to import this tile. D. and I'm going to import this statics file. Total number, okay. It is all fine. Let me see if bud merger now loads this file. I hope yes. Okay. So new bud. Okay. My VAD using that I'm going to use with this project is, as you can see, call it OOO, real textures, rooms, statics, OOO. So the VAD I'm going to use for this project is this one, HyperSquare 2 OOO underscore score 001, which is using already loads of extra items that I don't need. Okay, I think I can delete all of them. Let me see. Yes, I can delete all of them. Okay, I uncheck the smart copy. And I copy all of the statics I just built here. Copy, copy, copy. No, let me do something different. New vet. Okay. Copy, copy, copy. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, no 17, 16 and 17. Okay, save that. I call this VAD collision statics 2. Okay, okay. I open this VAD with strpix. Hopefully I won't have any crash open. Collision statics 1, collision statics 2. Okay. Let's hope it won't crash. Okay, fine. Texture it. I have exactly this texture. They are all purple. Very fine. The only thing that I need to do now is to fix their collision box. I will start for the first one. I will do automatic bound, automatic bound, automatic bound, automatic bound. Okay, it is all fine. Automatic bound, automatic bound, automatic bound, automatic bound, automatic bound, automatic bound. 6, automatic bound, automatic bound, automatic bound, automatic bound. This will give all my statics their proper collision, obviously. That is a thing, which is a thing I need into my level to have the proper collision with all that irregular geometry I'm going to import. Automatic bound. And so the last one, automatic bound, automatic bound. I save. I can close it. I come back here. I load a VOD, which is collision 2, obviously. Collision statics 2. I load my working VOD, which is HyperSquare 2000001. I can delete the first 18 extra item. Okay. With the smart copy unchecked, I can copy all of those. Okay, copy. 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 And copy. Okay. Save that. I'm going to save it with a progressive name. Okay. I'm going to load this object set here just to show you that those items works very fine. Exactly. Oh, I have copied this one twice. Okay, so there is an error. Let me see which is the one I'm missing. Okay, I'll see it later. Extra 3 should be this one. Extra 4 should be, let's see. Okay. This extra 4 is this one. This is extra 3. Next, oh, I placed it twice. No, so it is all fine. Okay, very good. I placed it the same one twice. Okay. No, sorry. Six. Very good. Very good. It is everything fine. Okay. And the last one. Very, very good. Okay. Uh-oh. Yes, because this is 4 click wide. This is 3 click wide. Okay, very fine. So they are all fine. They are perfect, and they are. I'm going to use those as the statics objects to create the collision into my environment. So for now, I have finished because I don't have the time to do the rest of the process to import the geometry. In the next tutorial, I will create the subdivision of this file into rooms that I'm going to use into the Tomb Raider level editor. And I will position those objects exactly in the position where the collision is needed. Obviously, you could say, but if I need this kind of collision, it is 1 click wide, but not in the middle of a sector, but in a corner of a sector. What should I have to do? You'll see later, almost in 2 or 3 tutorials, because we can move these objects inside Meta Sequoia. In order, Meta 2TR will know that this object, which is originally in the middle of in the center of the sector, can be moved here or here or even here, so that it will create the perfect collision once in game. Everything of this will be seen later in 2 or 3 tutorials. So don't be in a hurry. Just wait until I have the time to connect again and show you the next tutorial. So see you. I hope you enjoyed. See you and bye bye.